stage for his opening remarks. Please welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. While I was standing backstage, I realized something. There's something very universal. Everywhere in the world you go, there's something that everybody follows to the T. Anybody taking a guess what that is? No matter which part of the world you are in, when something happens, like a national anthem, it is everywhere has the same response. Everybody pays respect to that. And that is very encouraging to see, and also from an industry perspective. That is what we hope that we will be able to achieve at MMA. Our objective is also to have some global recognition of frameworks or standards that can give the same kind of response that we have from something like national anthem. Everybody understands them, everybody respects them, everybody is looking to abide by and work to make it a better industry. I am Rohit Dharwal. I am the CEO of MMA Asia Pacific and I also look after the Smarties business for the global MMA operations. A warm welcome to all of you. I want to take the next 10 minutes just giving you a context of what MMA is all about. It's very important to set the context because we've been here for the last 14 years. We have evolved as an industry. We've also evolved as MMA. When we came here, we used to be called Mobile Marketing Association. Today, we are called Marketing and Media Alliance. The world has changed, so have we, and so have you. The digital is now the predominant ad spend for advertising. It has overtaken some of the big industries, big media, and it is only going to change in days to come. And for us, it is very important that we make sure that we are able to address those changes. By addressing those changes, basically what we are looking at is to help establish. Slides, please. Be able to establish that across the world. We operate in almost all continents of the world. We have a strong membership of about 800 corporate members, primarily marketers and the marketing ecosystem. But what's very important right now is to bring together this alliance so that we are able to build the momentum of this change. The innovation that's happening. Technology is driving a lot of that rigor, and the science is something that is missing. And I said this at the last event when I was here a few months back. There are very few industries that don't have a formal educational system or a certification system. The one that I can tell you is the industry that we belong to. If you want to become a doctor, you need to do MBBS. You want to become an engineer, you need to do an engineering course. You want to become an architect, you need to do a course. A chartered accountancy, or any other profession that you think of. You guys can think in your mind what those professions are. You need a certification. You need a formal educational system. There's science behind those education. The one which does not need, unfortunately or fortunately for us, is marketing and advertising. There is no codified knowledge that exists in the world around advertising and marketing. There is no scientifically based knowledge that can help drive what the industry wants. And that is the purpose, the sole purpose that we are trying to attempt to achieve in the next decade or so. We are working on various programs, mainly the three big think tanks, the MAT, MOST, ALC and DAT. And I'll talk a little bit more about them. for us, it's really about building the knowledge and thought leadership around the industry. We are uniquely placed because as an industry body, we are not aligned only to one aspect of the industry. We have marketeers, agencies, tech enablers, publishers, and the rest of the ecosystem, which is coming together and sitting on the same table. Because we truly believe if we need to build those platforms, build those frameworks, we need to have everybody on the same page. We recognize that through all these events, the conferences that we do, we try and disseminate that knowledge, that information, to ensure that we are able to have that dialogue at a leadership level and also at a practitioner level. It's very important to understand the balance of those two. Because while leadership is helping devise what the strategy is, it's very important to actually have somebody deploy those. And we also recognize the industry through our awards program, through Smarties in particular, which is very important from a recognition perspective, but also recognizing some of the case studies and work that we do in each of the think tanks. So what I'm going to share with you is broadly about the 4 global frameworks that we are working on. The first framework is attribution, marketing attribution think tank. And what we are trying to address here is the long and short of attribution. If you all go back into the history, in the 60s, the madmen of advertising, there was this famous quote that said, 50% of advertising works, we don't know which 50. Attribution has always been a challenge and continues to be a challenge. Even with digital, when digital came, it was more and more attribution will be awarded. So, unfortunately, because of the fragmentation of technology, it has become increasingly difficult for that attribution. The measurement, there are no common practices. Example being, if you have 3 different platforms, they have 3 different metrics. And as an industry, as a marketer, which one do you follow? What is the common measurement? How do you connect those returns of attribution to finance? At the end of the day, everything that we do in marketing has one objective. And the sole objective is to drive growth for the business. And if you cannot connect those metrics, you are not able to justify the marketing function. And that is the sole reason why marketing, unfortunately, does not have take a seat on the C-suite. In most organizations, marketing still does not have that seat. And it's really important to look at that and with an introspection as to why. Because if we are the driving factor, we are the growth driver for the business, how come we don't have that seat? Because we are not able to connect to the growth drivers, to the enterprise value. Because attribution or measurement is something that is known and well known only with marketers, not translated to finance. And that's what we are working on. The second thing that we are working on is MOST, which is Marketing Organization Structure. This is a framework about putting standardized operating models for organization growth. What that basically means is how do you build capabilities in organizations in days to come. Till a few years back, you remember,
understand your own capabilities. We've developed some tools around it. There's an assessment tool of marketing organization which any marketer today can go online at MMA and do. Take that assessment and then build their capabilities in alignment for their business practice. So that's something that we're working on. We hope that this is going to be a tool that most of the industry will be able to take and use to address whatever the marketing attributes that the organization. The third is ALTT, which is AI Leadership Think Tank. There's a lot of work right now that's going on in that. As you know, the world is going AI. There's a lot more that will be generated on AI, in AI, by AI. And how do we address that? How do we make sure whatever is happening in that has a practical example to be looked at? We've learned over the years, we've been doing this for over 20 years as an association. And what we've realized is the best way to do that is to build the framework, build the methodology, and then do a use case. Do case studies around that and justify that by showing the returns or showing the results of those case studies. To that effect, we've done 6 different frameworks within AI as MMA. We started this journey way before ChatGPT was launched, by the way. I don't know how many of you actually know this in the room, but MMA started its AI Leadership Think Tank way back in 2021. So, we've done frameworks on personalization because that's something which we think is the lowest hanging fruit. We've done on audience measurement. We've done working on responsible AI. And for each one of them, for example, in personalization, the framework and methodology that we built has been tested by different brands by doing campaigns and case studies. We've done about 33 case studies around the world. 2 of them were done in Vietnam also, with Nestle and Abbott. And across all 30 case studies, on an average, we've been able to get the results which says that if you do personalization by AI, which means fully automated, not a manual human intervention, you can generate on a given campaign anywhere between 60 to 200% better ROI than any other model operating, whether it's DCO or whatever the case may be. And this is done across different segments. We've done it in QSR, finance, FMCG, cosmetics, beauty. We've done it with enterprise, and everywhere we've seen those results. And similar to that, we've done case studies around measurement using AI, and there also we've seen results upwards of 20 to 40%. And those are the frameworks that I want to encourage you guys to log into MMA Global and read. Review those frameworks. Because we truly believe in the next 2 to 5 years, those frameworks will be the driving factor of advertising and marketing in the future. We've also done a think tank on data and CX maturity. We have assessment tools there. We've done a framework around movable middle, which basically means you don't need to advertise to everybody. You need to identify the people who are most likely to buy your product. You have loyalists on the top and naysayers at the bottom. But there is this cohort in the middle who is definitely likely to try your product. So the framework basically suggests identifying those cohorts, advertising to them. We've done case studies again across segments, about 20 odd case studies, and we've proven across all of them scientifically, irrefutably, that if you were to do that, you can get much better attribution and measurement of your data. But more importantly, a data point that I can share with you is, if you were to spend $1,000 for, if you were to spend money to generate $1,000 worth of sales, you need to spend about roughly $527 to get $1,000 sale to your loyalists. These are the people you expect to buy every day. You need to spend $2,100 marketing spend to get $1,000 sale for the naysayers at the bottom. But interestingly, if you identify your cohort perfectly well, you only need to spend $157 of marketing budget to get $1,000 sale. And this is something that we've established again across the industry, across different segments. We've done it with Kroger, Campbell, Ali Bank, so different companies, different functions, and different industry sectors. The reason I'm sharing this data with you is, my slides don't see, but each of these frameworks is available on MMA. We have a lot of the assessment tools. We have the frameworks. You don't have to take the entire framework and do it, but you have to understand the framework. You have to understand what the future of marketing is going to be. That is the knowledge that we are sharing. It is available for everybody to understand. Obviously, they can be tweaks to the local market. They can be tweaks to the function that you are working in, the business that you are in. But fundamentally, it is not going to change. And that's what we truly believe is going to codify the knowledge. We are also working on a certification program of codifying this knowledge, on helping establish what some of the fundamentals of marketing and advertising should be. A data point that I can share with you is distribution across industries. Over the last 75 years has contributed 70% of sales. Now you may question that data because there is no knowledge or scientific support behind that, but they are case studies. We have hundreds and hundreds of case studies that actually prove that. And that is some of the knowledge that we are trying to put together, and hopefully by the end of this year, at the beginning of next year, we will have a codified knowledge which we truly believe every country, every industry, and every marketer would need to know. Because that needs to be linked back to these frameworks to help build what we think is the future. And we are here to help shape that future. So, basically it's about engaging the audience. I hope you are engaged with this. The fact that you are in this room is the commitment that you are making to actually have that understanding of the leadership that you would like to take. We have these frameworks which are being rolled out on an ongoing basis. There are case studies that are released every week, practically every week. We have 102 more case studies which are in the works right now, which are going to be released over the next 6 months. Whether it's in data, marketing, attribution, most, or in AI. And every case study has a new insight and a new learning. And we are building these partnerships across the full year, and building these partnerships with CMOs, publishers, marketers, agencies, academia, which is very important, and we truly believe academia is going to play a very big role. We have partnerships with Stanford, MIT, and we are looking at building more of those partnerships so that when we launch this certification, the codified knowledge, then all the marketing practices, marketing colleges around the world would need to adopt that into their curriculum. What I said at the beginning, marketing does not need a certification or a program. There is no official certification for marketing, but we think elements of that can be built for us to build the capability for the future. Now, let me draw this in context to Vietnam. Vietnam is growing very fast. Vietnam has skipped the entire digital and went directly to mobile. And now mobile is digital. And the budgets are moving very fast. Whether we are looking at content to commerce, it still has one bottleneck which exists around the world, which is measurement. And the fact that AI adoption is outpacing any governance that is there, especially in a market like Vietnam and some of the other Southeast. Let me draw this in context to Vietnam. Vietnam is growing very fast. Vietnam has skipped the entire digital and went directly to mobile. And now mobile is digital. And the budgets are moving very fast. Whether we are looking at content to commerce, it still has one bottleneck which exists around the world, which is measurement. And the fact that AI adoption is outpacing any governance that is there, especially in a market like Vietnam and some of the other Southeast. Way far off from the most developed market to adopt any of the technologies. ChatGPT or AI, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, we all are using at the same level as consumers as anywhere else in the world. And we can use that to build any models that anyone else in the world is doing. So imagine 10 years back when we would say, how far is technology adoption in Vietnam? You could say 10 years, 6 years, 5 years. Now it's a matter of weeks. And that's really important to understand. Because you are in the position, we collectively are in a position to be at the forefront of it. The advantage is, we are digital natives. We are likely to be exceeding the expectations here than most of the developed world in some cases. And for us, that is the potential, that's the opportunity that we are looking at and bringing MMA back with all these practices. So, with that, I would like to thank you for your time. I hope you find this useful. We do have a couple of sessions over the next 2 days. We are launching a future lab which my colleague Jessica will talk about, and also a couple of other programs. And if you are interested, please do reach out to us. We're going to do a lot more of detailed discussion on all these think tanks and our work and aspiration, what we have for Vietnam. Thank you, everybody. Now, can I have Jessica on the stage, please?
Thank you so much, Rohit. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is the 9th edition of CMO Summit today. Every year we try to bring the new thing to all of you, and I hope you will see that for the duration now. Okay? So I will move very fast. So we just have 3 minutes from my side, so I think we just keep very fast on this. You know the world changes so fast, and today AI is driving the rules. Also the expectation also moving a lot as well. The leadership today, they remain the more courage, curiosity, and the speech. And I believe all of you in this room have about influence on the future of marketing. Influence what's come next. So I hope that at the end of today's agenda, we will have leave the fresh thinking on connection that we have and the courage to act on something that can do together. So first of all, thank you all of you again, and thank you to the board director of MMA and all member of MMA Vietnam, how to support MMA for so many years. We've been here for 14 years, and actually, not really 14, 15 years actually. And with a lot of effort from the ecosystem here, we have done something for Vietnam industry. And we continue to put a lot of efforts on that as well. And especially thank you on the speaker for today's agenda. And I would like to ask for a big applause, one of them, please. Thank you so much. And thank you on the partner specifically support for this event as well. Thank you MSC, thank you TikTok, on partner from Nestle, Samsung, Santa Francisco, and on media partners as well. And Rohit also talking a lot about MMA in them. We have done a lot of work about this, not just in Vietnam, but especially globally. And this is one of the missions we want to bring in Vietnam as well. For this year, we have created Creative Council to go deep dive into the segment of marketing. What the Creative Council, if you look at the cream, this is really focused about creativity. How we can put the creativity on the map of the international marketing industry. That's something the board will be focused on that. The same with the Creative Council, that will be Data and Media Council. If you look at this, the missions of the council focused about building data to be one of the core, to be one of very important things supported to making decisions. And today, data, they play very important roles on this, and I believe you have the same page with me. Also, the AI Council. We put a lot of effort for the last 3 years about AI. In the Council of AI, we want to reform AI marketing practice from the global, regional into Vietnam. And I would like to ask all of you in the future for engagement in the council with us. And today I'm very proud to share with you something about this, about CMO work. Some of you have presented at the MMA Innovate in June. Maybe you know about this information already. But CMO board is very important for, along with the country board MMA, to drive in the whole Asian for the marketing industry here. This is just event for advertisers. And tomorrow we have a celebration with about 30 CMO in the room. And I believe some of you here will stay with us for tomorrow as well. So the mission, we want to do something different. We want to do something making an impact. And we want to start with advertisers. Another reason, alongside with the country board, the CMO will play a very significant role in changing the whole landscape and also impacts in Vietnam. And this is one of activities talking more about the framework. Rohit mentioned a lot about AI framework, data media framework, and also others as well. MMA Future Lab focused about this. It will be a 3-hour workshop, happen in Thursday. And if you are interested in that today, you can contact MMA team so you can sit at the upcoming MMA Future Lab. Okay? MMA Connect, I just mentioned, very specific activities just open for seeing more from advertiser for us. And we believe we are sitting here not just from advertiser, you are from agency, you are from solution provider. And this is something we're working together. But we want to start with the CMO first. Upcoming activity, just very short about this. It is also a major platform every year. And this year, we do something different. We did a lot, so actually, this will be the 15th year we do MMA Impacts in Vietnam. And the first time we decided to do something different, we bring the platform into Hanoi. We believe this will be a very great opportunity to gather on the top layer, especially in Hanoi, with the Pacific, focus about finance, banking, pharmaceutical company, and other segments as well, especially for the government. And this is one of major changes.
Forward to your engagement with us for this event as well. Yeah. And for all of you who decided to support industry, this can be one of the initiative that we opened to welcome own contribution, MMA Future Marketers, where MMA connect with top universities in Vietnam, bring the best practice, the showcase knowledge to the students. And we will done for top 10 universities this year. We have done some already. So we look forward for any engagement that anybody in this room interested, please let us know. And for this, I just want to close my speech and say the stage for the very first speaker today. Thank you all of you again, and hope you enjoyed the agenda. Thank you so much.